I got you a hamburger. I think it might have been your hamburger, but now it's yours again.
I also got you a hamburger.
No, I don't think it is. Yeah. What is this? How do you keep doing this to me?
Somebody still has the hamburger. Are you sure?
No. Good morning. Welcome to Board Game Barrister, our local game shop in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's Tuesday once again. Every Tuesday we get to play a game, and today we played That's Not a Hat, a game where we're giving silly gifts to each other around the table, but they're all face-down cards, and we have to try to remember which gifts were which so we can tell the person we're giving them the right gift and call people when they're giving us the wrong gifts. We're going to see how that works in just a second here, but for the time being, I'm here with my fellow barristers, Elizabeth, Glenn, and Gordon, and before we talk about our game and everything we loved about this silly little card game, we are going to talk about how to play. Welcome to That's Not a Hat, a delightful little game of gift giving and gift remembering. When the game begins, each player at the table is going to have one gift card face up in front of them, and then we've got a shop, the deck, in the middle of the table, where we're going to buy some more gifts for each other from during the course of the game. Our first player is going to be the person who most recently received a gift in real life, and they're going to start us off by buying a new gift for somebody else at the table. To do that, they're going to draw the first card on our gift deck. We've got a toothbrush here, and they are going to flip that over so that we can no longer see the toothbrush on the other side, and they are going to pass that card either to the left or the right, depending on which way the arrows on the card are facing. In this case, it's headed to their right, so they're going to pass that card to the player on their right, and they're going to tell them what they're giving them. So they're going to say, I got you a nice toothbrush. And whenever you receive a gift, it's your turn to play. So this player is now going to give a gift away to somebody else. They just got this gift. You don't want to re-gift a gift too soon, so they're going to flip over the card closest to them, and that is the shoe, and they're going to pass that shoe in the direction their arrows show, which is this way once again. They're going to say, I got you a nice shoe, to this player. And we're going to carry on this way, slowly losing access to what these cards actually are and trying to remember what they were as they move around the table. Because eventually we might reach a spot where a player doesn't remember what they have in front of them or wishes to bluff about the cards they have in front of them, which is totally allowed. So if this player, whose turn it is now, said, I got you a shoe, it's up to this player to try to remember whether that is a shoe or whether they believe that player. Rather than accept the gift and take it in front of them, they can say, that's not a shoe, and this counts as refusing a gift. Anytime you refuse a gift, we are going to look at what's actually on that card, and one of those two players is going to receive this as a penalty point. If the refuser was wrong and this actually was a shoe, they would have to take the penalty point, but in this case they were right. That's not a shoe, so this has to go back to the player who gave it to them as a penalty point for them. After each refusal, when a penalty point is awarded, the player who received the penalty point is going to start us off into a new round by drawing that top card off the top of the store, passing it on to somebody else. Got you some cheese. The game ends as soon as any player at the table has a third penalty point, and the winner or winners are the players who have the fewest. Alright, so we just finished our game with 4 players. The game plays from 3 all the way up to 8 players, so we were actually on the lower end of the player count this time. It was really fun with 4 players, but I could see going all the way up to 8 players being what the game was really designed for, just this sheer chaos of gift giving. You have no idea what's going around the table. The bluffing becomes absolutely necessary because you don't know what's in front of you, but you just want the person next to you to believe that you know what's in front of you the entire time. It would be super fun, and I definitely want to get this to the table with 8 at some point. 4 was very interesting. We found that if we played with the basic rules where we each had one gift in front of us and there was kind of a 5th gift floating its way around the table, when we were focused, it felt straightforward. You could kind of pay attention to what everybody had in front of them, you had a pretty good idea of what was in front of you, but a single distraction was enough to throw us off into that not being too easy and being like just the right amount of difficulty for the game. So if you're with a group where you want to play something a little bit silly and you don't want to have to pay too much attention, just play with the basic rules and you're good to go. We also played with the advanced rules where you go up to 2 gifts in front of everybody, so there's actually 9 gifts on the table in a 4-player game. And even if you focus on that one, it's going to be chaos. So there's a couple ways you can go about it, and both are really super fun.
So one of the things I do love that they did is you have the arrows telling you where to pass. And some of them are black and some of them are white. And initially I thought, because every card that was showing up black was a pass to the right, every card that was white was a pass to the left. But that's not the fact. I like the fact that they just randomize the colors and be like, yeah, we're messing with your head. And that really plays well in it, because you can't then just say, oh, the right cards were the donut and the hammer, the left cards.
It's hard to consciously memorize those facts, but you do get those subconscious indicators that I remember Glenn passing that to Gordon, so I knew that it was going that way at one point. There's no way I'm going to assign that in my brain as a clockwise card, because it can't do that. But I can kind of go back in time and say, fork moved that way. which was as far as my brain could get, but it did help occasionally, yeah.
The silliness of the game is just watching somebody else at the table struggle to remember, and that silliness is so distracting. It just makes me forget what I have.
Yeah. Well, and the change as the game progresses, where it's the have some gloves, have a bugle, and then as you later on, you're like, have a banana.
Here's a nice hat.
That's not a hat.
I am very curious as to what it is.
It was the flower.
The flower! I
which
couldn't
forgot
remember the flower.
existed.
I just wanted
also-
someone to have to say the
also
name of the
forgot
game
it
at some point in the game.
So the interesting thing is, I didn't ever have the ability to memorize or strategize. My short-term memory recall is not my strong suit. I'm a note taker, and obviously I'm not allowed to take notes here. But the other interesting thing is, I'm also not a good bluffer. Like, I'm not great at lying. But I didn't really intend to bluff. The fact is, when I have 0 clues about what I actually own anymore,
Yeah.
it's just, confident acting at that point. I can both believe that it will be a spoon and not believe that it will be a spoon simultaneously, and just go with it.
Yeah.
Have a bugle.
Thank you. I got you a cactus.
A cactus? That's not a bugle. Cactuses in this game? Too late.
Too late. Yeah, I mean, the part of it is also just the what people call things.
Oh,
Because you might see something and think it's one thing, but it's whoever gave you the gift. That's what they called it, so that's what you have to say. So, like, this might be gloves. This might be magician's dirty laundry.
I got you a nice bugle.
Wow.
'Cause that's what Gordon called it. Sorry. I'd love to call it a trumpet, but I can't. Alright, That's Not a Hat. You gotta believe me. We had a really fun time with this one. We hope you had a fun time watching as well. As always, hit that like button, leave a comment if you got a comment, hit subscribe if you want to see our videos every single Tuesday when we post them, and check out our online store. We've got That's Not a Hat. We've got a bunch of other really awesome stuff. Thank you so much for joining us this week, and we will see you next time.